What is a zero knowledge proof and what problem are they solving? So a zero knowledge proof is basically a protocol which someone, they call an approver, can prove the correctness of a statement to someone else, aka the verifier, and they do this without disclosing any additional information. So think of Where's Waldo. This is a famous example that everyone gives. Let's say you're trying to find Waldo. A ZKP basically proves that you can find something without showing you how you were able to find it. So like, for example, going back to the Where's Waldo, let's say you have a giant picture of a bunch of people. A ZKP will show you a very, very small picture a small circle, and you can see Waldo's face. You can't see where he is within the whole picture, and you have no idea how they found it.
Yeah, and so you can kind of look at it as when a transaction goes through, let's say Waldo is the transaction, all the people around Waldo is kind of like all the extra data that when it's compressed, it kind of gets jumbled up in a way, so that way it's virtually untrackable, and then it spits out on the other end. That's a very simple way of looking at it.
Yeah, and when it comes to use cases for ZKPs, there are a lot, specifically for like large companies, people too. Like the one thing about most blockchains, because you have permission and permissionless blockchains, the permissionless blockchains like Bitcoin, like ETH, is a public ledger. And you can see all the transactions. If I'm a competitor, let's say I'm in the supply chain, or a manufacturing company, and I'm buying X amount of materials, I don't want my competitors to see what I'm buying or how much I'm buying. But when I'm buying from people, they need to know that I have the money, and they need to know that I'm the person that I say that I am. So ZKPs help make all of that seamless.
And there's been kind of an ongoing debate whether optimistic rollups or ZK rollups are better. Now, with optimistic rollups, there's always a chance you're going to get, or a higher chance that you're going to get a fraudulent transaction pushed through because they're optimistic and it's not mathematically proven. And with ZK rollups, some would say they're not going to be ubiquitously used due to their computational intensity. But I do think long-term ZKPs will be used more than the optimistic rollups as we start to experience deflation in the hardware price, because that's really where the cost comes from with ZKPs.
Yeah, and also they're faster too. Like he was saying, it's the challenge period for optimistic rollups. So if you want proof of that, go and try to use the native optimism bridge, and you're going to have to wait 7 days for your transaction to go through unless you use something like Stargate, which is a little bit more risk because it's not a native bridge. You know, it's like burning and minting and different things like that happening. But I do think that zero knowledge proofs is the superior technology, is faster. And once the costs are able to get down, which we always figure out in every kind of industry, we can make cars cheap, we can make ZKPs cheap. I think it'll be better. It's just newer, it's less battle tested, but I think it has better potential.
It's kind of like flat screen TVs, right, back in the day. So think about how we don't call them flat screen TVs anymore. They're just TVs, right? So any type of hardware goes through that deflationary cycle, and it kind of starts off where ease of use is more important in the beginning. And as we go forward, speed becomes more important. And so the pendulum should start swinging from optimistic to ZK very slowly. And we'll see that in real time for all of us participating in the market on a daily basis.
All right.